Okay, let's get into this deep dive. May 2025, it's shaping up to be quite a month for looking up, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's not just your, standard stargazing.
Right. We're talking shooting stars, planets lined up, and maybe, just maybe, a star that suddenly pops into view.
Exactly. That's the potential nova T Corona Borealis. It's got a lot of people excited. We've been looking at all the info on the May skies.
So our mission here is basically to give you, the listener, the roadmap. What to see, when, maybe even how.
Precisely. We want you to feel ready to step outside and actually catch these things without feeling, lost in space.
Perfect. So we've got the Eta Aquarids, the planets doing their dance, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and this Nova watch party. Where do we even start? Maybe with the shooting stars, the Eta Aquarids.
Good place to start. Yeah, the Eta Aquarids, they're pretty special.
What makes them special? I mean, beyond being streaks of light.
Well, their origin story is quite something. They're basically tiny bits of dust and debris left behind by Halley's Comet.
The Halley's Comet, the famous one.
That's the one, yeah. Every May, Earth plows through this stream of particles shed by Halley ages ago. So we're seeing bits of a comet that most people only see once in a lifetime, if that.
Wow, okay. That's actually kind of mind-blowing. Dust from Halley's Comet lighting up our sky. So when's the best time to try and see this?
The peak is predicted for the early morning hours of May 6th this year, 2025.
May 6th, pre-dawn. Got it.
But, it's worth looking on the nights just before that, too. Sometimes the lead-up can be pretty good. The best time is generally those hours before dawn, like, say, 3 a.m. onwards.
And what do they look like? Are they fast, slow?
These ones are fast.
Yeah.
Really fast. And sometimes the brighter ones leave these glowing trails, sort of like an after image that can hang there for a second or two. Persistent dust trails, they call them.
Ooh, like little glowing ghosts. Okay, any pro tips? How many might we see?
Sure. Well, for the northern hemisphere, maybe 10 to 20 per hour under really dark skies, which isn't a huge number, but still decent. Viewers further south often get a better show, actually.
Okay. 10 to 20.
The great news this year is the moon. It sets around 3 a.m. local time on the peak night.
Oh, perfect. So dark skies after that.
Exactly. Several hours of prime dark sky viewing until twilight starts. So you know the drill. Get away from city lights, let your eyes adapt. Takes about 20 minutes. Lie back, be patient, and look generally towards the east.
East, before dawn, May 6th. Be patient. Okay. Check. Now, this nova, this sounds like something out of science fiction. A star just appearing.
Does sound dramatic, doesn't it? And it really is. A nova is essentially a star that suddenly, violently brightens incredibly.
So it was there before, just too faint.
Precisely. In this case, we're watching a system called T Corona Borealis, or TCRB for short. It's about 3,000 light years away in the constellation Corona Borealis, the Northern Crown.
Okay, TCRB. And it's a system, you mean more than one star?
Exactly. It's a binary star system. You've got two stars orbiting each other quite closely. One is a red giant, a big, puffy, older star. And the other is a white dwarf, which is this super dense core left over from a star like our sun after it, finishes its main life.
A red giant and a white dwarf dancing together. So what happens?
Well, the white dwarf is incredibly dense, strong gravity. It actually pulls hydrogen gas off the outer layers of its red giant companion. Like a stellar vampire, sort of.
Whoa, okay. Siphoning gas.
It is. And over time, in this case, roughly 80 years, enough hydrogen builds up on the surface of that white dwarf.
And
then the pressure and temperature at the bottom of that hydrogen layer gets so immense it triggers a runaway thermonuclear explosion. Boom. That's the nova flare-up we see.
An 80-year cycle leading to a giant explosion.
Wow. So normally we can't see TCRB at all?
Not without a telescope or good binoculars, no. It's usually way too faint. But this explosion, this nova, predictions are it could get as bright as the main stars in Corona Borealis itself. Maybe even as bright as Polaris, the North Star.
As bright as the North Star from being invisible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Where exactly is Corona Borealis? How do we find this spot? It's a neat little constellation. It looks like a small semicircle, or a crown, like the name suggests. It's tucked between two really bright stars, Arcturus and Vega.
Arcturus and Vega, okay.
Yeah, you can find Arcturus, easily follow the arc of the Big Dipper's handle, arc to Arcturus. Vega is another super bright star, usually high in the east or overhead later in the night. Corona Borealis is between them.
So find the Big Dipper, arc to Arcturus, spot Vega, look in between for a little crown.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
And it's a really good idea to, practice finding it now, before the nova happens. Get familiar with that patch of sky, see what it normally looks like.
So you'd actually notice if a new star popped up.
Exactly. It makes the eventual sighting, if it happens soon, much more impactful. Think of it as scouting the location.
Makes sense. Have astronomers been expecting this? Is this why everyone's talking about it now?
They have. CrB is a known recurrent nova. It's done this before, notably back in 1946.
Oh,
astronomers have been keeping a very close eye on it, especially since maybe mid-2024.
And something changed recently.
Yes, that's the key. Just recently, the star system did this unusual dimming. It faded noticeably. And that's significant because it did something very similar just before the 1946 eruption.
Ah, so the dimming could be like the calm before the storm, or the inhale before the shout.
That's a good way to put it. It's seen as a potential precursor, yeah. It's definitely ramped up the anticipation.
But we still don't know exactly when. Could it be tomorrow, next month?
Predicting the exact timing is, well, it's notoriously difficult with these things. Astronomy isn't quite there yet. But the dimming event certainly makes in the coming months feel, well, more likely. Maybe sooner rather than later, but no guarantees.
Okay, fingers crossed.
The really important thing, though, is that when it does happen, the peak brightness might only last for a few days.
Only a few days?
Yeah, maybe a week at most, being really prominent to the naked eye. And since the cycle's about 80 years, well, for most of us, this is likely a once-in-a-lifetime chance to see it.
Okay, that puts it in perspective. Definitely something to keep an eye out for. Right, let's shift gears to our more predictable neighbors. The planets. What's the planetary forecast for May?
May's actually pretty good for planet spotting. We've got action in both the morning and evening skies.
Okay, who's up first?
Let's start with the morning. Venus. You absolutely cannot miss Venus. It'll be blazing low in the east about an hour or so before sunrise, all month long, super bright.
The morning star, classic. What about Mars?
Mars is an evening object this month. Look to the west after sunset. You'll see its, characteristic reddish glow. It'll be setting somewhere between midnight and 1 a.m. local time, depending on where you are.
West in the evening for Mars. And Jupiter, the big guy.
Jupiter's also in the west after sunset. Also very bright, the steady, brilliant light. It'll be setting earlier as the month goes on, though.
Yeah.
Early May, it hangs around for maybe 2 hours after sunset. By month's end, it's closer to just 1 hour.
So catch Jupiter earlier in May for a better view. Okay. West for Mars and Jupiter in the evening. What about the ringed planet, Saturn?
Saturn is back in the morning sky, low in the east before dawn. Interestingly, at the start of May, it'll be relatively close to Venus.
Oh, a pair?
Sort of, yeah, though Saturn is much fainter, obviously. As May progresses, you'll see Saturn climb higher each morning and move noticeably further away from Venus. So watch that separation increase day by day if you're an early bird.
Cool. Venus and Saturn starting close, then drifting apart in the pre-dawn east. Are there any specific dates we should circle on the calendar, like planetary meetups?
Yeah, a couple of nice things to look for. On May 3rd, check the western sky in the evening. The first quarter moon will be hanging out right next to Mars. Should be a really nice pairing.
Moon and Mars, May 3rd. Nice.
And then there's the morning sky show later in the month.
Yeah.
I mentioned Venus and Saturn are in the east all month.
Right, drifting apart.
Well, around May 23rd, for a few days centered on that date, the moon joins them. It'll be a thin crescent, and it will actually glide between Venus and Saturn around the 23rd.
Whoa! The moon passing between Venus and Saturn.
Yep. That should be really spectacular in the pre-dawn twilight. A definite photo opportunity if you're up for it.
A celestial lineup. Okay, that sounds like a must-see. Moon, Venus, Saturn, around May 23rd morning. Anything else?
Just reinforcing. Mars and Jupiter are your evening planets in the west all month. Easy targets after sunset. And seriously, keep practicing finding Corona Borealis in the east during the first half of the night, just in case CrB decides to put on its show.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's quickly recap the May highlights then. We've got the Eta Aquarid meteors peaking pre-dawn May 6th, leftovers from Halley's Comet. Look east.
Right. Could see 10, 20 per hour.
Then there's the big maybe, the T Corona Borealis Nova watch. Keep an eye on the northern crown constellation between Arcturus and Vega. Could flare up any time, might be as bright as Polaris for a few days.
A very rare event if it happens soon.
And planet-wise, Venus dominating the eastern dawn sky, Saturn nearby early on, moving away, Mars and Jupiter holding court in the western evening sky.
Don't forget the moon visiting Mars on the 3rd.
Oh yeah, moon near Mars, evening of May 3rd, and the big one, moon sliding between Venus and Saturn around May 23rd in the morning.
That covers the main events pretty well. It really is a packed month for observers.
It sounds incredible, especially that nova prospect. It's a reminder that the universe is, not static. things are happening out there.
Constantly changing, exploding, evolving. It's humbling, really.
It absolutely is. So for you listening, we really hope you'll take a chance this May to just step outside, look up, see if you can spot a meteor flashing by or pinpoint Jupiter's steady glow. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be one of the lucky ones to witness that new star in the Northern Crown.
And if you do see something amazing, or if this chat sparks more questions about novas or comets, dive deeper. There's so much more to learn.
Definitely. Get out there, enjoy the cosmic show, and happy stargazing.